Hi YouTube, my name is Susanne. I wanted to record a video about my partial molar pregnancy because I was looking for videos to watch myself and I found like two. So I figured one in every 1,000 pregnancies is a molar pregnancy. So there's probably a lot of people out there that are looking for someone to relate to. So I'm going to share my story. So I found out really early, 10 days past ovulation, that I was pregnant. And I was really excited because it didn't take very long to try for once. This is my cat. And my daughter's was like 16 months at the time, so still nursing and stuff. I thought that was pretty awesome to get pregnant so easily. And things seemed really good. My betas rose really fast. I didn't have blood drawn, but just looking at my tests compared to past tests where I did have betas, and I didn't have any bleeding or anything like that, which I had in past pregnancies, so I thought that that was a good sign. And we heard a heartbeat just before 8 weeks on my own Doppler. Um, and so we had miscarried before after hearing the heartbeat, so I didn't get my hopes up too much, but it's a good sign. And one day, 9 weeks one day, I couldn't find it anymore. And at first I was like, okay, don't freak out right away. But the more I tried, the more sure I was that it really wasn't there to find. Um, I'm good at finding it. I found it every time since I first started finding it. Um, so I went to first to phone my midwife. I couldn't get through to her, so I just went to the ER. And they took me in pretty quick. And they tried to do a portable ultrasound, but they couldn't see much, or at least that's what they tell you. And so I went upstairs for an official ultrasound. And she said that she was going to show me, but then she didn't show me anything. And I tried not to read into that too much because, downstairs they'd given us good news. And then we went back to the room I was in, and they came down and they said that it looked like I'd had a fetal demise. And I was like I miscarried all over again. I already thought I was, and I thought it was okay, and then I thought I miscarried again. So they asked me if I knew what a partial molar pregnancy was, and I just thought that it was where the baby doesn't form all the way properly. Um, so he didn't explain too much past that, just that it could act like a cancer, and I had to have a chest x-ray right away, so I did that, and they had no blood, so they did the check my liver. Because apparently molar pregnancies can metastasize and spread to other areas. And they were talking like D&C was my only option. And with my past miscarriage of this gestation, I just chose to wait and miscarry at home, and it took 2 weeks. And I didn't want to wait 2 weeks. I was like, okay, give me the misoprostol and I'll be on my way. And they were really insistent that you can't take misoprostol if you have a molar of any kind because the tissue can cling extra hard to the uterus and doesn't all come out. It causes really bad cramping, and it can leave tissue behind and hemorrhage and stuff like that. So I'm like the last person in the world to want to have anything scraping out my uterus, and I was strong-armed into that basically. And so the next day I had to come back and do the D&C. And first of all, they have you fasting. So I got there at 8:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, short memory, 7 in the morning, and they It took till 4 o'clock to get me in for the D&C. So this whole time starving, not feeling very good. They gave me sugar water and my IV, even though I'm not diabetic or anything like that, but I didn't feel so great. So, still pregnancy hormones and stuff you need to eat. So, finally I went down, had my D&C. They explained anesthesia and stuff, and I didn't want to remember any of it. I was like, give me as much as you can. But then they kind of scared me talking about if you get put completely under, you need to have a breathing tube down your throat. And that's when I backed out of that. I was like, never mind. Just make me really drowsy, and that'll be good enough. So, and then it turned out that they thought that they punctured my uterus, which they didn't do, thankfully, but they were pretty certain that they did. So they had to put me under completely, and they had to do laparoscopy so that they could look in my abdomen and see if they punctured or anything like that. And they hadn't, so they were able to finish up, and I got wheeled back out. And I woke up, and my throat hurt from the tube. My abdomen hurt, obviously, and this hurt. You see that, Bruce? Kind of sucks, but they need to give me an IV for during the lap. And so I woke up feeling pretty crappy, but they gave me more medication, so that was okay. And then it took. I came back upstairs and they gave me food, but at that point I couldn't really eat anymore because I couldn't really swallow properly because of the tube that was in my throat. So I tried to eat as much as I could, but I didn't eat too much. And then my husband showed up at like 8 o'clock, I think, and I was able to go home. And my poor kids were freaking out because I'd basically been gone for 2 full days, and they're used to me being there all the time. So, and now what the plan is I went today for blood. Today is 4 days post D&C. I went for blood work today, and I go again in 3 more days. And after that, weekly, to make sure that my beta falls. My first beta before the D&C was 300,000. That's at 9 weeks pregnant with a partial molar pregnancy. So I've heard of betas being over 1 million with molars. I've never heard of that with it being a normal pregnancy. That's a really high beta. So I'm hoping that my beta falls really quickly because the last thing we need now is for this to be drawn out, and they won't let you try to conceive again until they've been completely negative for at least several months, like 2 or 3 months. So, and at first I was like, that's fine. I'm not in too much of a rush, but now as the time wears on, it's like you have a need after miscarriage to be pregnant again. And this is my third miscarriage. And it just seems like there's a long road ahead. So I'm hoping that in the very least, after all the crap that I've been through, that the betas fall fast and the cycles come back and there's no lasting effects because I worry about D&Cs and that kind of thing. So, my husband's holding out, my kids are holding up. William was really excited about the pregnancy, and he was pretty sad when we lost it at first. But now he just says that we can have another one, so we'll grow a new baby, he says. I wish it was that easy. And I wish that we could have just kept the baby that we had. So I hope that if you're going through any kind of miscarriage or some type of molar pregnancy, that this video helps you know what to expect or not feel like you're alone if you've already been through it. And if you want to talk, message me on my page or in the comments. Because it's just such a terrible thing to go to. You feel like you have to miscarry. Why does it have to be the worst type of miscarriage possible, right? Oh, and they've been delaying allowing us to pick up the remains, which has been extra stressful. So now, finally, tomorrow I can pick up the remains. And then they also made sure that we made arrangements with a funeral home to have them buried or cremated, because apparently the solution that they use is carcinogenic. So my cat's really annoying. Um, I arranged to be able to have the baby cremated and then take the ashes from the baby. So I hope that this helps somebody. All right, bye.